pa' ti,
yo te quiero dar sin miedo.
What's up, you guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we want to talk to you guys about the Disney Wish. Now this is our third Disney cruise. We've been on the Fantasy, the Dream, and now the Wish. Almost we have the set complete. Not really. We got like 4 more.
What's
No, but we're super excited to talk to you about the Wish. We had such an amazing time. Every time we've been on a Disney cruise, we have such an amazing time. This is a new adventure. It's a new cruise. You might think about like, oh, if you've been on one, you've been on all. Not at all. Especially with our new experiences and the baby. And we are gonna make a video about how was it for the first time in a Disney cruise with the baby. But today we want to talk to you guys about the Wish.
We want to start off with the
Arrival part.
The arrival part. So the parking is similar in pricing as, if not the same. It was $75
for a 3-day
if I'm not
cruise.
mistaken, for a 3-night cruise. The parking lot was separated, so this port is still Port Canaveral.
Port Canaveral. But it's a different terminal.
Right. So it's a different terminal, and this one was, in our opinion, not as great as the one that we ported for the
Dream and the Fantasy. Yeah.
Which they're right next to each other, like you said, the terminals. But we had to go in a different route, so we didn't get to go through the Disney,
the Mickey Arc, and it looks more like a terminal, like an actual airport terminal, than like a Disney cruise, like what we're used to for the Disney cruise line. But the process was super fast. We got there within our time allotted, and then they have so many check-in agents that we really didn't have to wait for much. One thing we did find out, we were bringing fruit and some containers for the baby, and we had to pretty much dump all the fruit and everything. If it's not factory sealed and it's an original package, you can't bring it in.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I wanted to make sure that we had food and fruit, and I mean specifically because the baby loves fruit. As soon as we got on the ship, because I didn't know how long it was going to take for us to go and get food, I didn't know this was our first cruise with the baby, so I just wanted to be prepared, and they did not let us go through with it. So that was really unfortunate, something that I did not think of or consider, that they would make us throw it out. Then once we went through that security, it was pretty fast. They just kept everybody moving. That wasn't too bad, but it does feel a little overwhelming when you're like, okay, what do I need to, and there's certain things you can bring. There's like, it's not exactly the same list of things as the airport. So that's why I was like, as soon as we got up there, I was like, wait, I don't know if I have my nail clipper in here. I don't know if my tweezers are allowed on here. So I got a little bit nervous, but it wasn't that bad. Once we got through, it wasn't that bad. And then the terminal, it was really long, so it didn't feel crowded. We got seen pretty quickly to check in. It got seen pretty quickly, and then we went through, and they had the photographers available. Pretty similar to the idea of the other terminal, but the thing is that we just really wanted to walk through the Mickey Arc, and they didn't have like the boat of the design. Remember how in that terminal they have like the boat displayed really pretty. So in our opinion, there was a difference.
But getting in the boat, it was amazing. Going to the atrium, they still announce your family name, and they have a little ceremonial kind of like, hey, your cruise is about to begin. For like every 10 families they do it,
right?
So it was pretty magical getting in there, and it is so beautiful. Deck 3 is so amazing. The chandelier, the little lights, is breathtaking.
Yeah, it's really pretty, and like their big thing was the chandelier and how much it can do with the different types of light, the different types of stories in there. Like, it's really something you want to just take a moment and look at and enjoy. And there was even characters waving at us from the top. So that was really just beautiful to walk into.
Right after that, I think we got on the boat like at 12:30, and we were told our rooms were going to be ready at 1:30. So by 1:30 everything was ready. Our luggage wasn't there, but it got there fairly quickly.
One tip, which we will make a video on tips, but is just to carry the things that you would need within the next 4 hours or so.
4 hours,
Not necessarily everything, and you can take, you know, multiple backpacks carrying on with you, but the luggage does not take that long. It's never taken much longer than like right after we get there. Or
but if you want to go to the pool right away, you want to have swimming suits and sunblock and all that stuff with you.
Handy, So then with the theme overall, like it was a Cinderella in the atrium. It was like a wish, you know, decor everywhere. And then they also had the Bayou on the 3rd floor and the Hyperspace Lounge, which is like Star Wars theme. At the Bayou, it's really pretty. It's definitely something that you just feel like you walked into another like little, and it's actually open, so there's hallways and then it's right in the dead center. But it still feels like its own little section because on the ceiling they have it really decked out, really beautiful, with the flowers and stuff like that. And then they have the like bar there that you can order coffee, you can order drinks, some bar foods, and then to the left of that was the Hyperspace Lounge, which is so fun. Just even the hallway walking in, it's already like you
feel like you're literally entering like a spaceship. It's amazing. It's beautiful. If you guys just want to go in there to watch it, we did it, and it was amazing. We didn't get any drinks. Or anything.
We didn't sit down to lounge. We just kind of wanted to keep going, but it was definitely something that I would recommend enjoying one day.
And kids are allowed in there. Apparently, we didn't know. We thought just because it's a bar, you weren't allowed to have kids in there, but. We didn't know. We didn't know. We just went through quickly, and come to find out you can sit in there with kids. So then, also on the 4th floor, you have most of your stores. So you have another coffee section. You have all the shopping stores you can imagine, and then you also have the movie theaters around there. So, which is crazy. On this one, they have 2 movie theaters. And they have the actual theater where the plays are played at, but they also use it as a movie theater. So on our cruise, they were playing Captain America, the new Captain America movie in the big theater, and Moana 2 in the big theater.
They had a couple different movies, but he's just emphasizing on that those are the newest movies that came out, and they were already playing there. So
it was pretty awesome. So if you guys find yourself like, let me just chill, get out of the sun. So look at the movie schedule, because they're constantly just playing movies there. And bring your popcorn bucket.
And the movie theaters, like the ones that are specifically just for movies, oh my god, it is so cute in there. They had a Tinkerbell theme in one. I didn't see the other one. And it was just like, even the railing in there was so like decked out, and then they had like different lights going off. Obviously once the movie starts they turn it off, but it is so cute. So next we want to go into our room. So our room was on the 6th deck. It had a balcony, so it's considered a veranda, and
we were dead set in the middle of the ship, like right next to the elevator.
We were mid-ship,
right next to the stairs.
So that's something we did learn from our last cruise, was that we did like the 6th floor, and we did like being next to the elevator. It was something that I wanted to test out again this time, because now I was with a baby and we knew we were going to be napping in the room.
And I remember being a little concerned about the noise being next to the elevator in the center, but the rooms are super quiet.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad.
Extremely quiet.
Not until somebody's walking in front of our room. Well, let me just say, emphasizing some kids running, yelling, then I hear it. But they're doing it right in front of our door. But other than that, the elevator obviously is going to be busy, and we did not hear it from our room. So we are happy that we were that close to the elevator. And then the balcony was really big, really beautiful. Definitely loved the fact that the room attendant was able to bring down that extra bed for the baby, which was funny because the baby had not slept separate from us. He did when he was a young baby, if you watch those videos. But basically, when Enrique left for deployment, he had not slept alone.
No. And so we were like, okay, well, we were like, you wanted to set up the bed for the baby? We're like, yeah, sure. We're not going to use it, but sure. And he
did
set
it
it up
so
so
cute.
beautiful. He had Lorenzo's little blanket, little Mickey,
Yeah.
the railing and everything. Like, oh, we gotta try it.
Yeah. So we tried it and it worked out so perfectly. He definitely was able to nap in there. So that was something I wanted to add as well. Is like if you do have the baby that needs, you know,
dark quiet.
room, quiet, and then we took our sound machine, you know, he was able to just sleep through all his naps in the room. So it was definitely
and we had a diaper Jenny in our room.
Oh, and the bed railing.
Yeah. So we did ask prior to the bed railing and the
diaper genie,
and it was there. So
the good thing is about that specific bedding, obviously it might be a little bit different for a room, but our room, his bed was pretty low.
yeah, really low.
So I wasn't worried too much about him rolling, but we did he added the bed railing, the room attendant, and then the room was separated by a curtain, so his bed was separated by a curtain, so then me and Enrique had our
We can
side.
still watch TV or watch them in the theater.
We ordered room service.
A lot of room service.
The baby would have woke up like, are you guys having a meal without me?
Yeah, what is going on? Is there a fourth meal that I don't know about?
I definitely thought that was the room size was
It's
perfect.
Yeah. Room service, people, is free. Remember that
Do
room
not
service
forget that room service is free.
We were getting room service 2 to 3 times a day. Like
a
before
day.
dinner, like getting a little snack.
And don't feel guilty. I mean, I'm going to tell this to myself. Don't feel guilty. You purchased this as a bundle.
Yeah.
So it's included.
And 24 hours a day.
And we did have the Cinderella room theme
Yeah.
on the 6th floor. So in case you are looking for a specific room theme, because I think all of them are
Some other
different.
Moana, some other, I think maybe
I don't know the other ones.
Princess and the Frog, but I know definitely for sure Moana and Cinderella are in part of the theme.
Speaking of food and room service, now we're going to talk about the food overall.
Yeah.
So we actually had a lot of options on this boat. We had a lot of
Yes.
options. So starting off with the quick service.
So we had the Goofy's Grill, we had
Daisy's
Pizza Pie, the Mickey Smokehouse Barbecue, and we have a, what was the other one?
Donald's Cantina.
Donald's Cantina is kind of like a Chipotle. It was amazing. I love bowls and I love Chipotle. It's my life. And I love it because I could get there, get some chicken rice and some beans, corn, and grab it on the go, and it was amazing. Cassandra loved the barbecue.
Yeah,
The ribs there were so good.
I would ask her like, go upstairs real quick and go grab that or something.
And they had like 7 or 8 different barbecue sauces that you can pick from. The pizza is always good on a Disney cruise.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one day we were just hanging out, and I tried the burger and the chicken fingers, but
Yeah.
burgers are made to order. They're not sitting there in boiling water or just there.
Yeah.
It was really good. We have the buffet, Marceline.
Right. So the only thing I will say real quick about the food on the quick service, which you pointed out to me, was that they serve you there, so it's something to consider that it does take a while. At the quick service did get busy.
Oh yes.
It did feel busy. I don't know if it was
We
just
were
the
peak season though. Also, we were in spring break season.
Yeah. So it did feel, in my opinion, busier. So just take that into consideration about when you're gonna go, if you're gonna go exactly at like.
Especially for a burger, if you're gonna go for a burger, it's gonna take a minute because they are making the burger to order.
Oh, okay, yeah. So just something to consider. And then the buffet, you said that they also started to do service.
Yeah,
instead
so
of,
Disney Wish was built during the virus season, so people on the cruise serve it to you. It's still a buffet, but you can't just reach in and like get your own food. But it doesn't slow it up. It's
No,
still like there's
everything was
so
pretty
many
smooth.
sections. I will say for breakfast, if you're an adult that loves Mickey waffles are only on the kid area, so you're gonna have to go to the small counter with the little kids in line and ask for your Mickey waffles. I did it every morning, no shame.
something that I would recommend is going to the buffet, because you have a lot of options.
So many options.
And I would use the quick service, even though we didn't, but like at the pool, when you're at the pool, if you just want something like obviously quick. And then the Marceline Market, it did to me feel pretty long.
It is.
Like,
It's
I
so
don't know if it
spacious.
is,
Like
yeah.
it goes around the ship, and like it repeats the stations obviously,
Right.
but it is a huge part of the cruise.
Yeah, it was pretty big. So and we got seating every time.
Yeah.
Like we weren't necessarily.
The hardest thing was finding the seat for the baby.
The high chair.
The high chair, we did have to ask for it every time. So even though we were on a busy cruise, it was always seated.
Yeah, and as far as taste, like to me, it was good.
Yeah.
Everything was good.
Remember, Castaway Key morning churro waffles.
Oh yeah,
That's the day that they do the
If you're
churro
looking
waffles.
for the churro waffles, they only do it on that day. On to our dining.
Yeah, so if you don't know, you've never been on a Disney cruise, it's not like every other cruise where you eat dinner at the same restaurant.
Or that you have to, something I learned, make reservations.
So
This is taken
Disney
care of.
rotates you through 3 restaurants, whether it's a 3-night cruise or a 10-night cruise. You rotate through 3 restaurants, and then it's gonna be at the same time every night, same table number every night. You're either gonna get the early dining, I think it was at 5:45, and then 7:30, I think it was the late or 8.
Yeah.
We picked the early dining just because of the baby, and it worked perfect with
It
the
did. It
schedule.
actually worked so good. And like, again, emphasis on if you have a child that is typically on a routine, which we do follow that. Like, we follow a routine pretty good. And
if you book your cruise early enough, you
can pick the time.
Yeah. And
Or
even
you'll
if you
a
get the
slot.
later one, you want the early one, never hesitate to call customer service.
So as Disney adults before a baby, I would
to go.
recommend the evening one. And then with the baby, especially if you do try to get him on a certain time to eat and to be in bed or something like that, then I would recommend the earlier one. And
This is the first time we did share a table with another couple and another baby.
I know.
We always got on the low season where we always get our own table, but I will say we were so blessed. Like the best couple you could pair. Like I think Disney did it on purpose.
I think they did.
I don't know if they researched our personality. I don't know, but it was perfect. The babies were about the same age. They were like 2 or 3 months apart. And the couple that were from Atlanta, they were amazing. The conversation just kept flowing. It was nothing awkward.
It was so crazy because when they started guiding us to our first dinner table, I saw them going to a table with other people.
Yeah. It was like, wait, is somebody sitting on our table? And they're like, here you go. We're like,
And I was like, hi, I'm sorry, I've never sat with another family. Like, and they're like, oh, this is our second time. Like, it's fine. So I was like, okay, I guess this is okay. And it was so cute because it was me with the wife and the high chair and then the husbands and like lined up. So I thought that was cute.
It was so cute.
I know that sounds so intimidating to be like across a stranger, but we had the best experience. And like Enrique and her husband had an amazing conversation. Like they kept getting it, which I thought that was gonna be funny.
Even like I remember like the last dinner, we were like, we should have asked for their contact information. We're like, no, it's too late now.
I was like, no, that's weird.
And then they were waiting on the exit of the
They were
restaurant.
talking
like,
about it too
hey,
as we're
do
leaving.
you mind if we were just talking about it?
So I wonder if Disney at least considered like, okay, baby
Baby's
and
the
baby.
same age, yeah.
At least that, because honestly, it felt really nice to be with the family that was similar.
But the 3 restaurants are 1923, which is if you've seen videos, this is a super mellow restaurant. No show, no antics. It's just a nice sit-down restaurant. It's a Walt Disney restaurant, themed restaurant. Food was amazing.
The food,
oh my God.
I think we're gonna say it now, I guess.
Yeah,
that was our top
favorite
restaurant
food for a restaurant. It was awesome. Service was awesome. He brought me 2 dinners because he thought I would like the other one better. I ended up liking it both.
Yeah, so the food at 1923 was definitely our top out of the 3. And then we also had Marvel.
Marvel was, the show is awesome.
So that one had a show.
Yeah.
Like that was
That,
like a TV
movie
show.
and personalities showing up.
And so we had Spider-Man show up there. So that was like our character dining in a way. I will say that he went through the tables pretty quickly, but our baby wanted him to come.
Kept calling him.
And then cried as soon as he approached our table. So that was pretty funny.
So, but the show was amazing. It's super
really cool,
interactive. And it was cool because it's like, interactive physically, where our kids, the two kids in the table were like wanting to push the button and wanted to watch the TV.
So then the third restaurant was Arendelle.
Yeah.
And Arendelle's a Frozen theme.
And it's a celebration of Anna's engagement. So they have like a little party, and like the servers get into it. Everybody starts waving their towel
like,
at one time.
It felt like a party. Like that was our first night, and it was really cool because they had like performers singing songs from the movie, and they had the main cast up there from the movie, and then they would walk around. So we had Elsa,
Anna,
and Kristoff come around. So that was pretty cool. And they would come and talk for a second with us, and then the party was like rotating the napkins, and everybody was yelling.
Fun.
Our table mates, they had the drink that was like an ice theme, so you had to break the ice to go in there. So it was very and then the hallway getting in was themed like to the T of the Frozen
You think you're
house.
in the castle.
Or the castle, sorry. And so that one to me was like the most character dining themed party, like everything that you expect from a Disney restaurant, like that's what they had there.
That's the most out there.
And then what I just wanted to add was with the baby. So he ate everything. Like I will say
they do have a kids menu.
Yeah, I will say that our baby is known to eat a little bit of everything. So just to background, but he did enjoy every single meal that he got. So
actually,
I'm really
in 1923, we ordered 2 pasta bowls. Because he ended up destroying the first pasta bowl. We're talking about the hypeness of Arendelle. The sail away party. Oh my God, this sail away party. If you guys need to watch it and be there, because like it will set you up for the cruise. Like not just the cast. Everybody on the cruise was just like, it was in a rave. Like all the adults, all the kids were like the energy. Like, you really started your vacation with a banger.
And the baby was like,
we were scared because there was a lot of noise and everything.
I think he was a little bit
intimidated.
intimidated.
But I put him on my shoulder, and
then he just kept looking at the characters.
And he loved it. He was holding me tight.
But it was so cute. No, it was so like it really was lit. Say with the cruise, I noticed that I don't know if it was a huge difference, but this specific time, I did notice that we were able to see characters all the time. And I'm talking
constantly.
and I'm talking about like you can go and take pictures with them. They weren't just like walking by, but they were consistently, somebody was always out.
And what I do love, like in the parks, is they're walking to their break. And they're with a cast member. Here, I feel like even when they're walking to the break, they'll stop and interact with people, take photos.
Because I mean, even when we had our last cruise, that's what they did. They would stop. I feel like you really get to enjoy the characters on the cruise, and you wouldn't think that because we're not at a park. I don't know. So
to me, like it's just character interaction in the cruise is night and day difference from the park.
It's really nice.
They're so accessible, and just even with the cast members, like we had a conversation with the director of entertainment, and he wanted to talk to people.
He got off the boat to talk to people when we were at the Castaway Cay. And he literally was like talking to everybody, and letting people come up to him. We took a picture with him, and we definitely love that they do that and they stop and they don't ask directly, but I feel like they're asking for a review. That's pretty good.
I think they're listening and see how we feedback and everything. Because like even I said, because we were in Castaway Cay and we're like, it's kind of sad. We're done with the cruise. Like no, we're not done. The magic is still gone. And then he literally started telling us what's up tonight, and it's just they want us to have a good time.
And I feel like if somebody's lost and confused, stop a cast member. They'll guide you. They'll recommend something. If you're like, you know what, I'm nervous about this, or I don't know how to handle this, or where do I go if I'm into this, they will answer and guide you and direct you to whatever will make your experience better.
The nursery. So Cassandra's a stay-at-home mom, and plus I deployed, so she's always been with the baby, and we've never let the baby anywhere before the cruise. So we were super intimidated by the nursery, because it's like if you guys go to all the clubs and the open house on the first day, Cassandra explained it the best. If you see,
wait. Hold on. You need to say everything.
There's by ages, right?
There's kids
teens,
clubs,
tweens.
Yeah.
And
toddlers, and then babies. There you go. And then the nursery, it's called it's a small world. So when on open house, we get to go to all those rooms, right? And obviously we love the teen ones because there's like Star Wars.
And we started at the oldest, and we were walking ourselves to the youngest.
We didn't do it on purpose, but that's what happened.
It just happened to work.
Yeah, and then when we got to the toddler section, it's Andy's room.
And
would you say?
It was crazy.
And it was like set up with, like, if you're the size of the toys.
Yeah, everything's super awesome.
It's really cool.
Everything's super big, and you're in Andy's room as a toy.
That's a toy, exactly. And I thought that was so cute. But when we walked in, I don't know if it was like, it was open house, but it was packed for whatever reason. At that moment, it was so packed and so loud and a little overwhelming. But then we go to It's a Small Room. I mean, it's a small world. It's a small world, and that room
peaceful. It's like you walk into
those are the babies
spa.
Yes.
Cassandra was like literally like Toy Story 3 with the bad kids and the toys getting destroyed.
Not the bad kids. Not the bad. It's just the age group.
The age group.
Where they're beating up the toys.
Yeah.
And then the nursery.
The nursery, people play with their hair.
They're like, oh my god. Or I don't know how it was, but I was like, this is so different. And they're like, there's 3 and up over there, and at the nursery it's babies to 3 years old, so the max is literally 3.
We talked to the cast member for like
quick intermission because Enrique's gonna go get the baby from his nap. Maybe we got too excited and got loud, but just to wrap up the nursery, I thought that was a great experience. We did go and look, and I was more open to the idea of the baby staying there because I was like, let's just give it a try. Enrique was not into that idea. He was definitely like, no. And I was like, let's just go to the open house. So when we go and ask all these questions, I was like, okay, how much was it? It was $8 an hour, and it was age 0 to 3, and they could put him to nap. They do have a couple options to like snack, but we can take food to them. We could give them their water bottles. We can give them anything that they need. They also had the nursery really like locked in, which I liked. Like the baby could not come in and out without passing multiple adults. So I really like that. And then they also had, I don't know if it's considered like a double screen or a double window. I like that I was able to see him through that window, but he couldn't see me. We didn't register him, but we did go back to register him, and I was like, maybe we'll convince ourselves to do like an hour or something like that. And I finally convinced Enrique, and I was like, let's just do an hour. Like, we won't do it for his nap time. We won't do it for late at night. We'll just do it for a random hour so that we can go to the adult section. So that's something I really wanted to do, was like, either one of us is gonna have to go or both of us can go while he's at the nursery. We were able to they guided us to somebody that does speak Spanish, and because we did say that we primarily speak Spanish to him, so he might feel more comfortable with that, and they were able to have somebody with him the whole time that does speak Spanish, so that made me feel really good as well. Then they also text you if the baby needs anything, if the baby needs to get picked up, as well as the fact that if he's crying, at a certain point, they'll text you and be like, hey, your baby's crying. We're going to try to calm him down. But if not, they'll text you again if they weren't able to calm him down. So I like that. That was our very first time being away from the baby, for him to be in a daycare, in some sort of daycare setting, which was great because we got to go to the adult section area. So I'm gonna have to wrap this up, but I definitely would recommend the nursery. And just to let you know, they also offer a sibling discount. That's $8 an hour up to 3 years old, and they are open until midnight. Now the adult section. The adult section for us was not the top or the best out of the 3 that we've been to. We only have an hour, as I said. We left the baby at the nursery so we could go and enjoy the adult section. But the layout was not our favorite. Again, we didn't get to enjoy much time there, but the layout was not our favorite. It was like a U setup, and then it felt kind of wonky, and it wasn't really like loungy. Like our last cruise on the Fantasy, I believe, was like my favorite. Also have the Cove coffee there, which it's like, oh, the coffee there is so delicious. I definitely recommend it. We got to go in and enjoy a coffee. It was so nice because it felt like a little like loungy area that we just kind of like chilled out, enjoying our coffee, and they gave us a little treat. But in all the other cruises that we've been on, or the Disney cruises we've been on, they have a whole like setup of pastries that are completely free and included, and at this one they did not. So that was a little disappointing because I loved grabbing like a little dessert, a little treat with my coffee. They, like I said, they did give us one, but it was like what they chose for us, and it was like a coconut flavor, and I don't like it. I don't like coconut flavored things. So adult section was not our favorite, but again, we didn't necessarily go to that area more than once, so maybe we gotta give it a try again. Now for the pool areas, we also were in the kiddie, like more like the baby section pool area, which was really nice. We did enjoy that. They had like a splash pad that was pretty much enclosed, so I like that because it felt a little bit safe for the baby, that he wouldn't necessarily go and escape. And then they did have a lifeguard there as well at like the entrance or the exit, so it's the same pathway, which felt like, you know, kind of protected just in case if the baby gets hurt or if the baby's like running out and you can't catch up to him or whatever reason. And that was pretty fun. He got to enjoy all like the water coming out of everything. Right next to that was a slide for babies, or not babies but for toddlers. He still was too small, like physically they have a height minimum there. He was too small for that, but I don't think he would have enjoyed it. Then in front of that they had another, what I would consider more of like a, to them it would be a knee high or like ankle high like pool, where it was just, you know, a little bit of water, but they were able to get like a little bit of waterfall, one section where water came out, and most of the adults will come on the outside and just let them kind of play in the middle. So that was really nice that he get to enjoy that. Definitely love that for him because he just loves being in the water. He just loves getting wet. And I did have him in water shoes and an actual like complete swimsuit. I did feel like it was necessary for him to be in water shoes because as soon as we got out of there, he was stepping on the regular floor, so I was scared of him slipping, which he did not. One last thing that we will say is that we are DVC members, so even though we are on the cruise without using any points, but you can use your points, we still receive gifts every single day. So they have a DVC lounge that they offer for you to come and pick up your gifts every single day. So me and Enrique will get a gift, each one of us will get a gift from DVC. DVC had a meetup setup as well where they offer you like non-alcoholic drinks, alcoholic drinks, trivia to win gifts, and as well as more information on, you know, what you already have available to you as a DVC member and what you can also get. So I think that's pretty cool that they keep us included in those things and that it's like member only. So it's like, yes, we became DVC members and it doesn't get ignored just because we're on a cruise, you know. So I do love that. Overall service, I will say that every single cruise has been top-notch service. Like, it is always top-notch service, and the Wish did not disappoint. And I'm so glad because I always like recommending the Disney cruise. I've never been on another cruise. I have heard the horror stories. I've heard some good stories too, but nobody can top the Disney cruise service. And I'm just saying that from my personal experience of now 3 different cruises, you know. So I'm so happy that they maintain that, because when I do recommend it, I'm like, yes, their service is top notch and you do feel like you're on vacation and they do take care of you and they do want to make sure that you feel like you're riding in first class service the entire time. And it's crazy because they still have upgrades. Like we mentioned, the restaurants that they have, there's still upgrades that you can make to fancier or more of a different experience restaurant. You know, they even have adult only restaurant, and that's something that we really enjoy, is that they just, you know, make sure that it is overall a great experience, from going to the restrooms that are always clean, from going to the restaurant to getting whatever food you want. Even if you don't like it, you can ask for another plate. From the room service, having you know, people attend to your room twice a day, so it's clean. It feels like it's clean all day. And then, you know, everything that they offer, I really, really, really enjoy and cannot recommend enough. One last thing I'll add is that we did take this cruise on peak season. Like, I would consider this like spring break season. So we went in March. The last 2 cruises we've done on Halloween, or I would say the beginning of October, but the cruise is themed Halloween. So Enrique tells me that that's actually considered low season. So there could be a difference in the time that you go as well. But if you guys have any questions at all, please comment down below. We would love to do a Q&A, because we just want to make sure that we're answering your guys' questions about the different cruises that we've taken, as well as would love to talk about our experience more in detail about going with the baby for the first time, especially for 2 adults that have gone without a baby twice. It was a change. I will say that. It was a change. But if you guys would like to hear more about that, let us know down below in the comments. And thank you guys so much for being here.